So the SEC has said, "Ya basic," and released some basic self-custody rules and regulations and insights, which is pretty cool, but more on that in a bit. Welcome to Cryptocurrents, the weekly podcast about crypto, blockchain, and technology that gets you smarter about all of those things because, hey, we all work in the actual industry. No FOMO, no shilling, just giving you everything you need to know. Think of us like the morning brew, except we're not boring and we have a lot more fun things to say. I'm your host, Vince, and today I'm joined by our resident degen, Kale, from the Encrypt team,
Yo.
and Katya from you.
Hey.
So we'll talk more about the SEC basics here in a bit, but let's actually talk about something that I think is pretty exciting since a lot of people listening to this are listening to this on YouTube. And if you're not following and subscribed to the MyEtherWallet YouTube, you absolutely should. But YouTube just enabled stablecoin payouts for creators. Kale, you look like you spend a lot of time on YouTube. Talk to me about this.
Wow.
Yikes.
I don't know. I don't know whether to take that
Got
as a compliment
him.
or not. But, you know, I'm not hiding. I spend way too many hours on YouTube for sure. I am curious, though, why they chose PayPal USD of all of the stablecoins. And, I mean, I imagine it has something like PayPal maybe has like a certain amount of like ownership in YouTube. Maybe I would assume, because otherwise, yeah, it's like I'm just confused. Like, why PayPal? It could have been any stablecoin, literally any. So yeah, I mean, hopefully in the future there's more options. But like in general, it's cool to see the just the doors opening in general, for YouTubers to start getting paid on chain. Another like thing that I'm curious about though is like what YouTube's long-term plan is here, because like weren't they just cracking down on crypto videos like last month?
Yeah.
They
And
were,
like all
yeah.
types of random videos were getting taken down and people were like surprised, you know, like they thought they were following the rules and then they got taken down anyway. So yeah, I'm like a little confused and curious what YouTube's angle is with crypto, but yeah, time will tell. It's cool to see.
So do you think all of these Minecraft speedrunners are going to start taking their payouts from AdSense and Staples, or is this just kind of for the degens of the world already doing crypto content on YouTube?
It's a good question. It like probably just for the crypto degens, honestly. Because yeah, like how do you sell PayPal USD to a normie like video game streamer? You know, it's like to those people, it's like it's fine. YouTube is depositing money into my account. It's like it's what's the difference?
That's my question as well. Like when I was looking at this, that if you're maybe someone who is a creator and already is into crypto and you have your wallet and whatever, and that you're like now, oh cool, I'll just redirect this to my crypto wallet or whatever. But if you are not, what is the difference? It's not like you're getting this in Ether Bitcoin, which might grow, like it's, dollars, but like if you already signed up with your bank account and you're getting those payouts into the bank account, what is the incentive? Like if there was an incentive that you're getting more if you're using USD, like there's some kind of reward system, I would understand that. But if there isn't, then unless you're into crypto already, why would you switch over?
Yeah, it's like adds extra steps.
Yeah, you have to figure it out. And I'm sure that if you were to connect any wallet, it would be like highly KYC'd, etc. Like, I mean, you're already KYC'd in there anyway if you're a creator, and if you're at a wallet, that wallet gets added to your ID online profile, if you will, and which actually might be a discouragement to some people. So I'm interested because they're like it might encourage onboarding. And when you said why PayPal, haven't they been doing like deals like Stable, right? The Stable mainnet, they are on there.
Yeah.
Something. So they've been trying to do partnerships that will encourage the use of the coin, more. But I don't know why you would, if you're not a crypto native already, why you would switch over.
Yeah. Yeah, I agree. Like I have this theory as to why they're doing PayPal USD, and it's because PayPal actually runs 1099s on people. They issue 1099s for tax purposes. And that was a big deal for a lot of people that do side hustles that get paid directly to PayPal because they just wouldn't report it. And then
Mm,
PayPal, starting last year, now issues 1099s to anyone that receives more than $600 um, via their PayPal account.
that's nice. So PayPal just makes it easy for the small business owners.
Well, makes it easy or worse? So that's the question. Like, some of these people would just not report it, not pay taxes on it, which, is
Yeah, yeah,
fraud.
yeah. Depends on your perspective.
But also it is at the onus of the company that is issuing the funds to give a 1099 out for a contractor that has received that much payment. And so I feel like PayPal is like getting in between and trying to solve that for both parties, whether it's the government or in this case YouTube. But I agree. I don't think this is gonna make people be like, "Ooh, crypto," unless it is for people outside of the United States. Maybe there is something intriguing there. Um,
But isn't it just for US creators?
yeah, for now. But I mean,
Ah,
I feel like they kind of every financial instrument these days is like for US only, and then broadens. Um,
Except for
unless they're
on-chain
like,
stocks.
except for on Jay's stocks,
except
like
when it's the
everyone,
opposite way.
except when it's the opposite way. Like that's the two ways it goes. Like
Yeah.
you're either in or you're out. There's no in between.
You just knocked
Um,
something loose in my head that like
let it
makes a lot
fall.
of sense. I think that this could onboard people into crypto, like the non-Americans. Like,
Mhm.
yeah, hello, like people who want USD exposure who can't get USD. This might be a way, but like, yeah, first we need it to expand outside of the US.
Yeah. I mean, and so I feel like it's like one of those trial runs. And I think it's also, I have this theory that PayPal is going for a big rebrand because I've felt like over the last few years, PayPal is old, right? Everyone remembers PayPal when they were new and hip and cool. And then Venmo came around and ate their lunch. And now they're the same company, and everyone always forgets that PayPal and Venmo are the same company. And I think that PayPal is like trying to get back on the bleeding edge of fintech. And so I wouldn't be surprised if we see a big rebrand, maybe even a name change, as they continue to kind of lean into innovation in crypto while everyone else is just paying for their brunch with Venmo.
Yeah, I remember a friend of mine from college, after college, he went on to work for PayPal, and that was like really cool, but that was 20 years ago.
Yeah.
So yeah. Mm.
But speaking of other stablecoin stuff, Kale, talk to me about the drama with Coinbase paywalling some USDC rewards, man.
Yes, Coinbase announced recently that they used to offer 4% yield on
Mhm.
USDC specifically for anybody. You join Coinbase, put your USDC in, earn 4%. But they recently announced that they are making that feature only available to Coinbase One users, which in order to be a Coinbase One user, it's like $5 a month. So, I mean, I don't
And
know.
the
I'm
and the
like,
yield went down, right? It's like, and then went down to 3.5% or
nah,
something.
did it? I didn't even read that part.
It should be 3.25 since they reduced interest rates in the country, so it's now down to 3.25.
Oh, okay.
Wow, I missed that part. But
Gotta
yeah, I
gotta
mean,
be dialed into Jerome Powell, man. Papa Powell.
dude, there's
Cutting that interest.
too much happening every day.
Yeah.
Um, but yeah, I mean, honestly, I'm like, I don't really mind it because I feel like this is just like what consumers are used to,
Yeah.
right? Like any bank to get the yield from the bank, even though it's like whatever, even if it's super, super low yield, you need to, be a member. You sign up, KYC yourself, you do all the things. And so this kind of makes sense. Coinbase is like making that move. They're like, look, we have juicy yield, but if you want to access this yield, treat us like a bank. You have to sign up, do all the things like as if we were your bank. So yeah, it makes sense to me. And I think it would be hilarious if they're like Ponziing it. They're like taking these new Coinbase One subscriptions and using that for the yield.
Well, what I
But
think is really funny is like, because when you said Coinbase One is $5, I was like, the hell it is? It's $30. I didn't realize they reduced it because Coinbase One has been around for forever. That we were one of the first like loyalty member programs, and it was $30 a month for like zero fee trading or something like
Mm.
that. And I just checked just now. If you saw me on camera, I was looking and I'm like, oh my God, it is $5, which is exactly what Robinhood's is. Like,
dude, these guys, they're butting heads for sure.
But I'm also like, I'm surprised, Kale, to see you so chill about it, because like,
Dude,
treat us like a bank. But isn't that like,
I knew you were gonna call me
the
out.
whole not point?
I knew somebody was gonna call me out. Like, honestly, dude, at this point, I've just like kind of, I don't want to say accepted defeat.
Have they beat you down?
No.
Kale, no.
I just like,
not
I'm
you.
at a point where I'm like,
not you, our dreamer.
no, it's just like, you know, you have to like have some level of realism, and it's like, I can be idealistic all I want, but it's like at the end of the day, moves are being made, things are being done, and it's like, yeah, this is just what's happening, you know. And I do still like deep down, I feel like, you know, if people do the right things, we could like overthrow the overlords. But yeah, the way it's going right now is looking pretty grim.
It's erasing the difference between crypto and the bank, and you know, and we've been talking about this, about like the fusion of, you know, of TradFi and DeFi, and just recently I read a quote from somewhere, Brian Armstrong, saying like, TradFi is not just like outdated or it's broken, full stop. You know, we have to. And what I'm seeing is, it's just like, give us. They've hired blockchain, you know, like, give us your tech, give us your tools, so we're going to use it for our profit, just like banks have always done. The end.
Yeah, no, true. It's definitely like trending in that direction, but I'm also a big believer of like, to make meaningful change, like you need to mess up, like, and like on a macro scale too, like we as humans need to mess up, and then we know better, and then we'll like try something better. And like, this is a part of that process, in my opinion. You know, it's like, we try to pull away from TradFi by building crypto. Now TradFi is like pulling it back in their direction, but it's like, because of things like this, like builders will get activated to be like, no, like this isn't the way. We need to build something. Like, come on, guys, let's get back on track.
That does.
Like, if this never happened, like people would never be motivated to do that, you know. So I haven't lost hope yet.
I really wonder what kind of buy-in we'll see from users, because this I could see backfiring and say, oh well, I'm just going to take my USDC off and then actually go find a stablecoin vault somewhere
on Aave.
On Aave, and get, you know, better than that yield without having to pay $5 a month. So I don't know. But at the same time, some people might be like, well, I've got 10,000 USDC. If I pay $5, I get this better interest. It's still a money-making thing for me. But then again, it does kind of like tie into the ecosystem, which everyone is very much engaged in trying to build that ecosystem.
I guess it's the two factors at play here is whether like people who are just like, the math is mathing, I'm still in the green, are not gonna care maybe. People who have some kind of like principle going on may be motivated to leave and say, you know, I'm even if I'm still winning, if I have enough to offset the $5, I don't want to give it. Like, why should I? If there are instruments out there that exist specifically for this purpose to bypass fees, you know. But it does require some knowledge of DeFi to be able to do that. So that's the hurdle there. Yeah. And I think it's like the thing with YouTube we were talking about. Like, why would you do it? Like, it has to be simple. And so I think now it's on the platforms that are like sticking to their DeFi guns to make it obvious and simple, and be like, just walk over here in 2 steps and you're not paying the fee and you're getting a higher yield, like to reduce that hurdle. I guess, which is what Kale, you were saying in terms of like builders stepping up and
yeah, pretty much. I mean, like, just to clarify, you know, like, I'm not.
He's on his heels. Like, he's on his heels,
dude. Yeah,
go for the throat. Like, go for the throat.
No,
the
because
reputation
like, you guys need to know.
Is ruined.
Yeah, no, like obviously, like, in a perfect world, I would love to see Aave like doing all the finance, but this Coinbase one, like $5 a month, like, it doesn't surprise me. it definitely attracts.
Oh no, it doesn't surprise I don't think anybody, but what surprised us was your acquiescence to it.
Dude, just rolling over at this point.
I mean, next podcast, Kale's going to show up in a suit. I'm calling it now. He's going to go for corpo. Full corpo. And speaking of corpo, yeah, I know. Well, leave it in. Don't edit that out. Speaking of going full corporate, let's talk about the big bad JPMorgan, who just released their first tokenized money market fund, ticker symbol MONY. MONY. Talk to me about adoption and the tokenization of money market funds, Katya.
I was just thinking that I'm looking at MONY and it makes me think of phony MONY, but
Damn.
they also they we've talked earlier about how like they make actual names to go within acronyms, and it's like my on-chain something yield, like it has a whole name. I mean, I guess they also did just a few days before that, they also said that they assisted in releasing a commercial paper instrument on Solana as well, JPMorgan, which I did not know what commercial paper was until then. I still kind of don't know what commercial paper is, but it's kind of like a debt instrument that and now it's on chain on Solana. It's called USCP, commercial paper. So like they're leaning quite fully into public blockchains, permissionless blockchains with this. And I mean, I guess that's exciting, right? Because they're the biggest bank. They're the whale of all whales right now in terms of like actual banks. So their support for public blockchain is a statement. So I mean, I guess that's cool. I don't know, Vince, like you're a big TradFi guy. Are you interested in an Ethereum money market?
I mean, at the end of the day, like I think it is JPMorgan. JPMorgan, for as much as I bag on them, does kind of push like large institutional investments and adoption and kind of like innovation. It's kind of just where they fall apart of the retail experience. We just need to be oil barons for JPMorgan to treat us nicer. I do think it's good to see. I think it's good that it's JPMorgan, just because they do have such a storied history of doing that level of innovation. The fact that it's got a stupid name, I think, is very much on brand for them. And the fact that it's for...
Speaking of oil barons, it's like a $1 million entry.
I was going to say, and it's for qualified investors only, which means you have to have a net worth of $1 million. So, oil barons get it first, which is kind of a bummer. I'm here for it. I think like it's just nice to see these headlines because it also makes me feel that we're shifting out of the meme coin narrative and the meme coin mania and getting back to at least trying to innovate and trying to build on chain. And so it's nice to see headlines with that rather than like Fartcoin does 20 gazillion X and here's how it rugged my face. Kale, what are your thoughts?
Here's why Fartcoin will rule the world.
Yeah.
10
tell
reasons.
me, you corpo scumbag. What do you think about JPMorgan Chase?
I'm low-key kind of excited just for the ETH maxis. Because like it's good for ETH maxi portfolios. The fact that JPMorgan chose Ethereum.
Yeah.
And I also think it's ironic and funny that like even though they chose to launch this on Ethereum, like because of the nature of crypto, I'm sure it'll end up on other chains. So that just speaks to the strength of Ethereum, in my opinion.
I mean, it also makes the most sense. I know when we had Kosala on the show, he talked about how, when people are going to be deploying hundreds of millions of dollars, they're going to do it on the one chain that is actually battle tested at scale. Solana might be cheap and great, but it has not ever seen the amount of volume and usage that Ethereum has.
Yeah, but like even if it's not Solana, I mean, it could be Solana at this point because Coinbase just dropped that bridge that makes it like super easy to go back and forth. But yeah, I feel like the most of like 90, the huge majority portion of the liquidity can stay on Ethereum, and like that will fund the L2s and the other chains that are like connecting back to Ethereum for the liquidity. That's at least how I imagine it working out. So yeah, I mean, it's cool to see, and I'm excited to see what else gets launched on Ethereum. And I actually wanted to ask you, like, what even is what is Money Fund? Like, is it
A
like
money
an
market account.
ETF?
So it's the easiest way to think about it is just kind of like an ETF that generates income. So like, let's say you have Fidelity and you have unused cash in your brokerage, they sweep it into a money market fund, which just is going to get you a specific amount of yield
But where does the yield even come from? Like, is it like a
from
basket of
loaning it out.
companies?
No, it's from loaning it out, just like earning
And
interest.
usually, isn't it usually like U.S. bonds or something like
Yeah,
that?
typically.
Yeah.
Yeah. So it
Interesting.
really depends on what that instrument is being pointed at. But it's very common for like unswept funds in brokerages that aren't evil. So like I'm looking at you, JPMorgan Chase, whose brokerage is just like, no, you get no interest on your money. I hate you.
Yeah, I mean, clearly I have like no idea what like the funds actually even are. So
Yeah.
take my opinion with a grain of salt.
No, for
But
sure.
it's
And
cool
I
to see
think
the institutions following like the gravity, like
yeah.
ETH.
Yeah, for sure. But let's get back to basics, shall we? Katya, talk to me about the basics of the SEC releasing these documents and like these guidelines, rather.
So actually, I am kind of like pleasantly surprised and kind of impressed.
Oh,
So, well, after
it's
7
rare.
years,
Yeah.
in crypto, like, and dealing with all kinds of bullshit. Maybe it's not that hard to impress me, but first of all, I'm looking up how it's called exactly. I was surprised to learn that SEC has an Office of Investor Education and Assistance.
Mhm.
First of all, I didn't know that was a thing, an assistance. Anyway, so they have like a user support kind of group. I don't know if it's like one person in a really depressing office in a basement,
It's
which
gotta be, right?
Probably.
probably right. So either this person is fairly young and technologically savvy, or they found someone online and paid them. But the basics that they released are kind of quite good, in the sense that they hit the most important things about safeguarding your private keys, about the private and public key, and how important it is to safeguard your private keys. And even more impressively for me, they did hit quite correctly the main points about self-custody versus third-party custody. And their kind of like scary warnings were fairly distributed between self-custody and third-party custody. Like they did say, like self-custody is cool, because, well, they don't say cool, but like the good thing is that you
This
have
is
full
rad.
rad, right? That you have full control, but at the same time, if you lose it, that's it. But on the third party custody section, they do say that like this is less on you, but if it fails, then they can walk away with your money. So it's kind of very fair. Hits all the main points. I don't know where or why or how anybody will ever find this, except for us who look for this kind of news every week. I don't know where they're like publicizing it. I don't know if you're gonna get a flyer in your bank now. I have no idea, but the content is solid. I have to say, it's pretty good.
I like to think they're going to release them on the SEC's TikTok channel.
They start doing like 10-second TikToks highlighting like the most important parts.
And they're
No,
just
but
going to read them aloud while doing one of the TikTok dances. They're going to be like,
you
Dude,
laugh,
strategy
but
is strategy.
I would love to like meet whoever was responsible for like doing this crap over there. Like I'd love to know who they got.
send him an email. Let's get him on
doing this
let's
stuff.
get him on the show.
I
mean-
know, that would be awesome.
Colleges teach blockchain classes now. So I mean,
This is
these people
true.
are becoming more and more common.
This is true. I also feel a little bit like less smug, I think, because for a long time, I know it's a long shot, but because being in crypto since like 2017, which isn't even that early. Like, Vince is familiar with crypto earlier, and but for a long time, you would feel like you're the only one in your like city who knows anything about crypto. But that's not true anymore. And even the SEC is able to find a person who is capable of writing coherent content about self-custody.
Even the
Like,
SEC, like they're not like a multi-billion dollar organization.
you know what I mean? So yeah. No, I had some trepidation when I clicked on that link, but it turned out to be a good thing.
I mean, that life goals to not disappoint Katya. Very lofty, very difficult.
I know the list is very, very short. And, just to see that maybe not the SEC itself, but somebody in the SEC, whoever wrote that, made it, is a statement for sure.
Yeah. What are your thoughts, Kale? Did you learn anything?
I mean, I'm just gonna parrot Katya. It's like the same. I had the same exact thoughts, honestly. Like it was cool, and I was like, I read the bulletin, and I was like purposely looking for things to nitpick. But
Exactly, right? Like
I was
anything. ready. I was ready to laugh and be like, "Oh, idiots!"
Yeah,
but
no, like these guys. I mean, it was solid information. It like literally reminded me of one of our blog pieces that we released, like educational content. Obviously, like not nearly as pretty, but I mean, the main points were there. Yeah, they were talking about like the difference between hot wallets and cold wallets, self-custody and third party, like Katya mentioned, private keys and public
Fox,
keys,
come here.
like all the things that people need to know. So
yeah, I think it's really good. And now that you've got my mind going, and I want to like figure out who wrote it, because I wonder also what the impetus for this was. Wonder if it has something to do with the Ethereum Foundation and their new initiatives. This definitely merits some more digging, because I never even thought that they would be collaborating. I'm like, oh, they just have someone that's kind of really interested and is putting it out there. But now I want to know, what are their distribution channels? What is it they're going to do?
somebody from PayPal.
It's someone from PayPal. Kale, you cracked this case wide open.
Yeah, dude. The PYUSD
in a whole new
shelves.
direction.
Damn, and I just cannot think of a better way to end the show than just you cracking this case wide open and me
You're welcome, bro.
misspeaking. So thank you so much, dear listener, for listening to this week's episode. We hope you enjoyed it and feel smarter. You should. Make sure you follow the show wherever you get your podcasts. Leave us a review. We like reviews. Follow us on Twitter. We like when people say hi. And we'll see you next week with even more cryptocurrency. Thanks, guys.
Bye.
Bye.